Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a plan. It is called Transforming Tomorrow, and we are here today to talk to the chief about the new 2024 strategic plan.
It's really all the people who are in the department now that have a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20, 25. This change depends on all of our employees.
We're excited about this thing. There's a lot of great elements to talk about, so stay tuned. We're going to get into this today. Let's get cooking. So, welcome to the Cal Fire Presents the 5 Points with the Chief. I am Monte Manson, and I am here with the director, Mr. Joe Tyler. Chief, good day to you, sir.
Good morning, Monty.
All right, good to see you. Good to see you. So, hey, folks, listen, we are here to have a great conversation about the future of this department. And one of the ways that we really look at the future and plan the course for what's going to happen is through something called the strategic plan. If you guys go back to one of our previous podcasts, we did some work and some discussion about how we were going to develop this strategic plan. Well, folks, guess what? We're here. We are very, very close to being done. As a matter of fact, it should be published very soon. And so we're going to take this podcast to have some conversation about where we're at and what's coming out. Chief, what do you think about that?
As we all remember, this podcast, we did one in October of 2023, where we talked about where we were in this. And now that we are adopting this new 2024 plan, I just want to hit on a few things. And one is I wanted to make sure that we reiterated that this was not just the director's plan, but this was the department's plan. You know, people come and go through positions, and that doesn't matter whether you're a firefighter one, an office tech, whether you are a deputy director or you are the director. People come and go. And we are setting up today for what the future of this department will be. So with that, it has to be the department's plan, not just the director's plan. And I think that that's where we got to. That's where we heard the voices of our frontline working group, which was made up of people in the field, whether it was the department leadership team, whether it is our partners from external agencies and other departments. The surveys that we did together really brought it all together to develop this strategic plan. Now, there's a tagline on this called Transforming Tomorrow.
Right.
And that is really, Transforming Tomorrow is, again, because what we're doing today is setting up for that seasonal firefighter and that entry-level office technician, SSA, who are coming in and are going to be here for years.
Right.
And this is a guiding document to do that.
Right. Absolutely. And I know you hit all the points there. And I think that was one of the real big pieces with this is with this particular iteration of the department's strategic plan was to make sure that we garnered involvement from folks all across the department at all different levels, as you said. I think that was a beautiful thing, and we achieved that. I think the other thing, again, to reiterate what you said, Chief, is that this now is an opportunity for folks who are not just tenured in the department, but even more so, those folks who are brand new in the department. They're early in their career. You all are going to be here for years and years and years. And so think about it from a personal perspective. What you do when you are trying to plan out what you want your career to look like 10, 15 years down the road. Well, at the same time, that's what this strategic plan is about. It's creating something that says, hey, what do we want this department to look like? How do we want to transform tomorrow? And so that's what we got all the input with. And like you said, the frontline group and all of the input that we got really has created this document that is going to help us work towards what tomorrow's going to look like for this organization. We're real proud of it. I know you're proud of the work that everybody has done this far. And so I think now, maybe we can take some time, Chief, and maybe cover a few portions and pieces of the plan to give everybody a little bit of a glimpse into what to expect.
That would be great. Let's walk through that.
All right, Chief, so let's talk about the first point here. I think, one of the big things, and we kind of just talked about it during the introduction, is really to see oneself in the plan. How does this relate to all 12,000 plus employees in the organization? It doesn't matter whether, like you said, whether you're a firefighter one, whether you're a deputy director, or anything in between. What we want folks to do is to take an opportunity to figure out how do they fit into this plan. Do you want to hit on that maybe a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm going to reflect, and I'm going to reflect that maybe when I was a firefighter or an engineer or even a fire captain, this plan probably meant very little to me. Mm-hmm. What did I know? I knew it existed. I knew there were posters on the walls. Yeah. And I knew today when I go to the training center that I'll see mission, visions, and values on the walls. And, of course, those are going to change with the 2024 strategic plan. But I never really comprehended how it applied to me when I was in those positions. Certainly when I'm in this position now and I'm working with the legislature and the governor's office and members in interest groups, they mean everything to me.
Right.
And so how do we make them make sense to everyone in this department? So let me take it to a personal level. When you look at your personal life, you don't sit there and say, I necessarily have a mission statement for my personal household. But certainly in your personal life, you have vision on where you want to go in life.
Right.
And personally, you maintain values that are important to you on where you're going to go in life. And then you have goals that you're going to set as you proceed through your life. And to meet those goals, you have to hit these objectives.
Right.
And so that's really what this plan is about, is it is setting a vision for all of us as the department coming together on where we're going to go as a department, how we're going to interact with our peers, how we're going to interact with our partners internally and externally, to be able to move the department forward. Now, when I look past that vision, we have to set a set of values, and those values come with behaviors. And so we set those values, and those values have changed since the 2019 strategic plan, really focusing on integrity, service, community, and diversity.
Yeah.
And I say it even today that there are so many meanings to those values, but that's how you have values again in your personal life as well. And then certainly we have 6 goals in this new strategic plan, and we'll possibly talk through some of those, but those are the goals that we see ourselves trying to achieve in the next 5 years. Now, something a little different about this strategic plan is in the 2019 plan, it was all wrapped up in one bow. And a lot of people were wondering, well, what goals did we achieve? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the strategic plan is going to talk about some of those things that we achieved in 2019, but now moving forward, we are going to do an annual action plan that's going to talk about the things that we achieved and the things that we're going to move forward in the next year to follow.
Right. Yeah. No, that's exactly it. And I was thinking about, how you were relating it to a person's personal journey with themselves, and similar to that, one might have multiple iterations of a career plan or goal. Very similar to what we've done here. Like you mentioned, the 2019 strategic plan that had 4 goals, and some of those were achieved and some of those we're still working on because of a number of different reasons. But now we've created yet another one because of things that have happened over the past 5 years have led us into the direction that we're headed now. And so it totally makes sense. Your analogy to, a person's personal journey is exactly what we're doing. This is just on a much larger scale. And so I think it's great to see how you kind of tied that in for folks. And hopefully folks will be able to kind of resonate with that. So that's good.
Yeah, so as you're talking, let's take it to, I talked about a personal level. Yeah. Let's talk about a professional level. This strategic plan for the department is no different than you as an individual employee trying to set your own goals and objectives professionally.
Right.
And so how do you do that? You do that by completing an IDP, an individual development plan. You utilize the policies and procedures you ask for, and you set your goals and your objectives for the next year. That might be including career development, include classes that you want to take, including personal development.
Right.
But tying it back to an individual, that is your strategic plan, the IDP,
yes,
moving forward into that future year.
Absolutely. Yep, that makes total sense. Transforming tomorrow. That is that tagline, and you mentioned it earlier with regards to this new 2024 strategic plan that we're so happy about. So transforming tomorrow really talks about what is the planned approach? How are we going to make this positive change and evolve the department and move the department forward? And so we've got some groups of folks who are going to be actively working on things, but we'll also talk a little bit about some of the work that will continue, that has been going on, that will continue into 2024 and beyond as we transform tomorrow. You want to hit a little bit on your thoughts and kind of your vision and how other folks can become involved in this piece of transforming tomorrow?
Absolutely. I think I'm going to start with transforming tomorrow is, again, what we said earlier is things that we're doing today are things that goals and objectives that people are going to be working on for years to come and are going to be living with for years to come. So I'm going to give you an example before we even start, and that is, the 2003 Blue Ribbon Commission report said that CAL FIRE CDF at the time needed to replace its aging Vietnam-era helicopter fleet. 2003.
Yeah. So
leaders and team members started working on that all the way back then.
Yeah.
It took until 2014-15, and to this day, we still don't have all 16 helicopters yet. Right. So think of the generations of people that are working through this process. And so what we are working on today are some of the initiatives that we started today that will be worked on for years, but a lot of what we're working on today are things that our predecessors started that we're accomplishing on their behalf as part of the team.
Right.
So one of the things that I mentioned earlier was the 2019 strategic plan. We didn't give regular updates about the accomplishments that we were making year after year, and so we're going to change that up. We're going to change it up by having what we call the Strategic Plan Action Committee that's going to set the course of those things that we're going to concentrate each year for each of the 5 years, and then be able to report out the accomplishments from them.
Right.
It's important that that as we do this, that is just one of many committees that we have. And there are so many committees, working groups, ad hocs across the department that there are so many opportunities to become involved.
Right.
And it doesn't matter whether you, again, are an entry-level employee or you're the director. It doesn't matter whether you wear a uniform or whether you are wearing civilian attire.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you are in fire prevention, whether you're in the fire marshal's office, whether you are in technical services, or whether you're in fire suppression. You all have a voice.
Yeah.
And it is bringing these committees, working groups, and ad hocs together that really will solidify transforming tomorrow on behalf of the department. Absolutely.
And to your point, with a lot of the committees that exist and the action committee that has been created and has already started work on some of the bits and pieces of the strategic plan, maybe we should also talk about where folks can kind of get involved themselves. We have an intranet page. We have a link to all the different committees that are doing work already, groundwork within the department that are working towards a lot of the objectives and goals of the strategic plan. Chief, do you want to hit on maybe a couple of those?
Yeah, we were thinking about this, and it is important that people know how to access the committees that the department has and to provide openness and transparency on what those committees are doing. There are a couple of ways that we do that for the managers and supervisors. I call them together on the first Monday of every month, and I have a director's staff meeting. And then on the third Monday of every month, we do some committee reports, but that doesn't go all the way to the ground level.
Right.
So how do we get it to the ground level? We get that through communications from executive emails. We get that through these podcasts. We get that through other newsletters, through communications. But as you just said, going to the intranet, go to our intranet page, click on the toolbar link that says committees. That's going to drop down and show all the committees that are in this department.
Right.
Click on anyone that interests you. And when you click on that, you're going to see what their charter is. You're going to see what the membership is. So if you have a suggestion, you know who your go-to contact is for your functional or geographic area. And then if the committees are keeping their sites up to date, which we hope they are, you're going to find notes and minutes from those committees helping you engage and set the future of, again, transforming tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we are, and one of the things I have to applaud you for, Chief, and I think folks who have looked at those intranet pages and those committees, you've been really, really advocating for transparency with regards to what it is that the department is working on. And so, I would just urge everybody out there, I'm looking at all of you out there who are watching, who are CAL FIRE employees, please make sure that you are following the link that Chief Tyler just talked about. The stuff's out there. It's available for you. You can see what is being worked on. There's a lot happening in this department. We're a huge organization at this point, and so you want to get involved. We are working really hard to create ways for everybody to become a part of, like you said, Chief, that transforming tomorrow. So really appreciate that. I think that's a very excellent point, and that's how we're going to continue to get all 12,000 plus people involved in moving things forward. So nice job there.
Thanks for that message.
So, Chief, another point that maybe we want to touch on, there's been a lot of talk about the implementation of the 66-hour work week. And I think that there definitely is a connection between the efforts that have been taking place with that and the actual strategic plan itself. Maybe we should talk a little bit about, how those two tie together, what the plan is for moving both of those initiatives forward. They're both huge for the organization, and I think it'd be great maybe just take a couple minutes to kind of tie those two together.
Yeah, I agree. I have a printed copy of the strategic plan here in front of me, and one of the things that you're going to see about this plan largely is it's people and technology focused. There are operational components, but it is really about the people. It's really about the same thing I said when I became the director about our health and wellness and creating a motivated and engaged workforce. Now that's tying the 2019 strategic plan into the 2024 strategic plan. And so as we look at the goals of the past, we find ourselves now looking towards the future.
One of the things that I think we've been touching on as we've been talking through this today is that this isn't a situation where we're just talking about handing down directives for everybody to just follow. Yes, we are an organization in which in some instances that is what we do, but for the strategic plan, we're really interested in garnering involvement from as many people as possible in order to move the department forward. So I think folks will notice that when they look at the plan. They'll notice that when the action committee does the stuff that they do. And so let's talk a little bit about how do we ensure and keep people engaged and involved in what we're doing with this new plan?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Sometimes there are things that have to be, unfortunately, a top-down approach. Right. That's just the course of a business. When we take this strategic plan and we understand our mission, we understand our vision, we respect our values, and then we look at our goals and objectives. Right. But again, I'm going to go back to this, is about the department and the department's plan. It is about finding engagement. It is not about complying.
Right.
Because in this organization, Monte, I can make you comply.
Yes.
But the important item is, can I get you to buy in?
Yes.
Can you buy into the plan? Can you buy into where the department is going? So the importance is, as we said already, is getting involved so you can buy into our goals and objectives and buy into where it's going and buy into the strategic plan as a whole. And really, whether that is something that you set at a station level, whether that's something that you set in a program, whether that is something you set as a battalion or a division, regardless of the strategic plan, it's all about buying in versus necessarily having to comply. And again, everyone will comply because that's our duty as long as it's legal and ethical.
Absolutely.
But I want people to buy in. So how do you buy into it? How do you buy into this? And that is, again, getting involved in the work of the department. Now, some people will say that I'm overworked already, or it is too busy, or I can't take on the additional workload. Right. Well, that is why we take the goals and objectives of the past, we take our goals and objectives of the future, and we recognize that some of the things that we have achieved as a department, whether it is adding staffing from direct mission support, whether it is ensuring that our administrative indirect rate ratio of support and administrative personnel align with the growth of our fire suppression side of the house and our prevention side of the house. It's ensuring that we're providing an opportunity, again, for that health and wellness for people to potentially engage. You know, I was, admittedly, everybody in the executive team knows that I love seeing the positive items in social media. Yeah. And sometimes I'm better off not looking at social media.
True.
So a perspective of an anonymous person said that the department doesn't care about our people. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you that that is just not true. Yeah. I care about our people. I know our executive team, I know the department leadership team cares about our people. And that's the reason we work so hard with our labor partners as well to achieve things like the reduced work week. And I know that there's work to do still there as well. But it is about how do we then, again, affect that change. And it is getting involved in following what that strategic plan action committee is doing, getting involved in those committees. Because the last thing that I want any employee to do, and I hold this as a personal value, is to sit by and complain about something within the department, but not try to do anything to affect that change or make recommendations or become involved in trying to affect that change. And yeah, I get it. Fire season is kicking off. I want to spend time with family and friends. And there's a balance.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But use the strategic plan as an opportunity and the committees and the strategic plan action committee to really get involved and affect the change leading up to 5 years from now in the next strategic plan.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. No, Chief, you nailed it. And I think one of the pieces that I want to reemphasize too for folks, to your point about that balance is, we want your involvement. We want everybody to be a part of how we move the department forward. But at the same time, one of the main tenets and goals and objectives in the strategic plan is to ensure that we're building a healthy work-life balance. That is in the actual plan. So yes, while we're calling all cars to come out and do this stuff, we're also want to make sure that folks are completely aware that we're not telling you to burn yourselves out. That is absolutely not what we're doing. Work hard, yes, absolutely. Do the things that you are required to do, absolutely. But this is yet an opportunity, as you mentioned, for folks to become involved in how the department strategically moves forward. Hey, just like you, Chief, and I'm sure a number of others out there listening, we all were young once, and we all had thoughts about what those people up there should be doing, because we thought at the time that we knew what was best, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all have our perspectives in our roles within the organization, and this is with any organization. But it's interesting how those perspectives change along the way, as one grows, as one gets more experience, learns more, maybe even has a couple of hard knocks. And those perspectives change. And so, quite frankly, it's no different with an organization. We've had a lot of successes over these past couple of years. We've also had some really tough fire seasons. And so we've learned from all of that. And I think a lot of that is also built into how we're moving forward here in 2024. And I think one of the big things that we learned, as you've mentioned earlier on in this podcast, is that we cannot be successful if we do not ask for the involvement of every single employee in this organization, which is why we keep hammering on that here, because we know that it takes each and every one of us to make this happen. So appreciate that point, Chief. You're nailing it. I think we're there, and really excited to see this plan in action. And I hope folks also take some time to really pour into it and ask questions and bring ideas forward, because that's what this is all about. So transforming tomorrow, again, the tagline for this strategic plan that's coming out for 2024, one of the things that folks might be thinking about is, well, okay, transform tomorrow. Well, what exactly did everybody come up with? If I wasn't involved, what did everybody come up with that tomorrow would or should actually look like, assuming all of these goals, transpire and turn out the way that we want? What does that look like? And how, we talked about how folks are gonna want to get involved, but what does that end goal look like? I guess is the question. And so, Chief, I don't know if you want to take just a couple of moments, maybe talk about those thoughts, and maybe we can get into other couple of pieces as we walk through that.
Absolutely. So I'm going to make up my own tagline.
Yeah.
What did we transform about yesterday? Right?
So within the strategic plan, and I've talked a little bit about this already, is what did we do?
Mm-hmm.
What have we changed? So maybe it's transforming yesterday, today, and transforming tomorrow when I talk about this piece.
Yeah.
So there'll be a section in the strategic plan, and it'll be the 2019 strategic plan accomplishments, and we've hit on some of those already, and I'm just going to keep them really high level.
Sure, for sure.
What did we accomplish in the 2019 strategic plan? Advancing fire protection operations, increasing the number of year-round fire engines, replacing frontline and reserve fleet, increasing our firefighting personnel, enhancing aviation resources through exclusive use, through Black Hawk helicopters, through what are going to be C-130s, enriching our internal operations, which have really been around our administrative and support functions. And then we have focused on our people, and you hear a lot about diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Right.
But I think that's important. So we represent the people across California as well. And I think that while there could be a perception that we are not a diverse organization, it takes you no further than meeting our workforce, going to our graduations, working closely with our California Conservation Corps partners, providing opportunities, working with Ventura Training Center and moving opportunities there, working with our local community colleges to recruit and retain our personnel are so important. And so now let's get into transforming tomorrow. And so a lot of the things that we were working on in the 2019 plan are still continuing, whether it is the relief budget change proposal, where we are currently in year 4 of that relief budget change proposal to add additional personnel for 2 more years. And it doesn't matter whether it's fire suppression or whether it is administrative and support functions. Through SB 901 and AB 9, we built and are continuing to expand our community wildfire preparedness and mitigation program in the Office of the State Fire Marshal. Fire and life safety and pipeline engineering in the Fire Marshal's office continues to expand. And as we expand our people, all of our programs are effective. Tech services on our infrastructure that I hear so often about. Not too long ago, I flew down to the San Bernardino unit, and I went to the Pilot Rock Fire Center.
Yeah.
And what an amazing transformation
from a conservation camp to a fire center. Those folks down there, Southern Region unit, and actually at the fire center putting in the hard work, transformed an amazing project into a usable facility moving forward. And so as we continue on and we work towards a reduced work week, we work towards resolving some of our crew issues, work towards ensuring that we have the appropriate ratio to ensure that all of our functions across the department are running as efficiently as possible. Doing so allows people to have a better work-life balance.
Absolutely.
And that goes back to, again, my initial commitment to health and wellness. So, when I'll go back to what I talked about in the beginning, and that's a diverse workforce. A diverse workforce could be the demographics of our organization, but a diverse workforce also is representative of the geographic and functional nature of a statewide natural resource protection and fire department.
Absolutely.
What our diversity and our diverse organization and the functionality that we do in the northern region, as far north as Siskiyou County, is different than the southern region, and specifically San Diego unit all the way down to the southern border.
Right.
And so we have to recognize that, and we have to recognize that what we do functionally and geographically are different as well, that we understand those differences, that we include all of the voices. The front page of the 2024 strategic plan, you're going to see not operational pictures. The pictures you're going to see on the front of the strategic plan are people.
Right.
That was done purposefully.
On purpose, yes.
It is our workforce across the department, and I'm so proud of seeing that. In addition to that, with the 2024 strategic plan, there are posters being made that will be able to be placed in units, regions, programs, fire stations, fire centers, conservation camps, administrative offices, that'll help remind us of what our mission, vision, and values are across the department. And so as we move forward, making health and wellness a priority allows us to engage our workforce, which allows us an opportunity for us to find ourselves in a place that we are continually improving.
Right.
That our voices alone, as every one of us, are recruiters in this organization. Hopefully we'll find a way to recruit people and thereby help retain them because of the organization we are and the organization we're becoming. Listen, nobody's perfect.
Right.
No organization is perfect. We will have our hiccups.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, we will have our differences. But this is a pretty darn good organization.
Absolutely.
And it is the people that make the organization what it is.
Extremely well said, Chief. I couldn't have said it any better myself. That is something that we are all who are who've been here for a while, and even for those new employees, we're so proud of this organization and what we have accomplished. And I think this strategic plan is a great testament to continuing that thought and moving things on. Really quickly, one of the things that I also want to tag on to what you were talking about, some of the partnerships that we have here in this organization, and you kind of mentioned the Pilot Rock work that's being done down there. And I had an opportunity recently to visit the Ventura Training Center, as you mentioned. And I just want to say, similar to Pilot Rock, the work that they're doing down there, but not just the work that they're doing to transform people, but the passion of the people who work there and the different organizations who are all coming together for a common goal is textbook. It is amazing work that those folks are doing down there. Shouts out, by the way, to Jeremy Brandt and Tim Davis down there, two chiefs who are doing a lot of great work there at Ventura Training Center, VTC. But I'm telling you, similar to what you experienced at Pilot Rock, I saw some really cool stuff. And it, again, is a testament to what the cover of the new strategic plan is, which is it's about the people and the passion and the enthusiasm for making this organization better. I saw a great example of that. You've seen examples of that. It's all over this place. And so we're happy to show that here and help move the department forward.
I agree. And I agree that it is really just two small accomplishments that you and I just talked about, but those are occurring all over the state of California.
Place. They are.
Yeah, for
yes,
sure.
They are.
So with that, I'm going to help you bring this to a close and make sure that everybody is really watching for this strategic plan action committee and the documents they put out and the documents that are going to be available on this on our webpage. It's important to recognize to be the change that you want to see into the future.
Yeah.
And it's really all the people who are in the department now that have a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20, 25. I remember when I had 30, entering the department, and 30 years seemed so long ago, and now 34 years seemed like yesterday that I started. So this change depends on all of our employees.
Absolutely, Chief. I don't have to say any more. I think you did a great job. Appreciate you coming on and kind of helping people through where we're headed here in the very near future. We'll have all the work that we do here will lead us to yet another plan, 5 or so years down the road. And so, but for now, we've got a great set of kind of train tracks to lead the train down, and we're going to continue doing that and appreciate your leadership. And again, we definitely want everybody's involvement in moving this thing forward. So that's it. So folks, we have had an amazing conversation today about the new strategic plan. I am reinvigorated from this conversation about where the department's headed. I hope you are too. I hope you got a lot of great information out of this conversation today, and will also join us and be a part of this new change and transforming tomorrow for CAL FIRE. But until then, I am Monte Manson. This is the 5 Points Podcast. We're going to consider this one cooked. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.